everybody. My name is Marianne Jackson. I'm the Interim Director of Elections for Delaware County, and I'm really happy to see all of you tonight, and really excited to share with you some of the results that we've been posting today. But first, what I wanted to do was really just kind of brag on our group a little bit, because I think all of you know that to put on an election of this size and scope, it really does take an entire village of people to do that. So today we had 250 different unique polling places that we needed to get set up. We had to train and staff over 2,500 poll workers for those polling places. And it's just a tremendous effort on everybody's part, so it definitely takes a village to do that. And so as everybody's been out, as the voters have been out at the precincts today voting, we have been very busy here at our election headquarters at the Wharf, as we've been pre-canvassing all of the mail-in and absentee votes. And we've been doing that since about 7 o'clock this morning. And we posted our first results of those mail-in and absentee votes at just after 8 o'clock. I think we posted close to 56,000 ballots or votes. So we were happy for that. We're actually processing about 5,000 an hour through all of our equipment, our inspection, our scanners. So when we get going, we can crank out at a really good pace. And then we'll begin to post the precincts, the election day votes today, this evening, as soon as we begin to get those back. So the polls closed at 8. I understand there were probably a few that had some long lines going, and so we took people right up until that 8 o'clock point. So we may be a little bit delayed in getting some of those cartridges back that actually contain all of the votes on them. But we'll expect to start getting those back this evening, probably around 9:30, and then we're going to start posting those as soon as we get them. So you've seen a little bit of the results from the pre-canvass, and then again we'll start to post the results from the precincts as soon as we get those. And then the only other things that we'll really be expecting, we've got about 41 drop boxes around the county. We've got ballot drop box retrieval teams. They're going to be retrieving those ballots this evening and then dropping them back off here in Chester. And we'll be working our way through counting those as well. So a lot of process going on, a big event, a lot of people working on it. We're working as fast as we can, and we're going 24 hours until we get the final count.
So how many do you have here counting the votes?
Oh my gosh, we've got a staff upstairs. We've had people down here pre-canvassing at any given time. I think we started off with close to 40 people pre-canvassing this morning, and then upstairs we've had up to, I want to say, 150 people, 175 people.
Are they working 12-hour shifts? What kind of shifts are they working to try to get these votes counted?
You know what? A lot of it is just people got here at 6 o'clock this morning, and they have continued to go. I mean, they're so passionate about helping us get this the vote counted that we've still got a lot of the original people, and we're just kind of replacing, here and there. So I wouldn't say that we have like really formalized shifts, but we'll be running 24 hours.
Any issues at any polling locations across Delaware County?
Probably not really that I've heard of. The one issue that we had in a number of polling places was we had some issues with our scanners. Our scanners not reading some of the ballots, and that was due to, I think, our vendor that was printing the ballots. Some of the ballots were a little bit lighter, and so they weren't reading them properly. And so we did a couple different things. We reprinted all of the ballots and sent those out to the precincts. And we're making sure that we collect all of those ballots, of course, that weren't scanned, and they'll be scanned here, they'll be counted here. So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that even if their ballot wasn't scanned at their precinct today, it will absolutely be counted.
Any challenges of a judicial nature, coordinating by either party that the voter services officer or?
Not to my knowledge, no.
We've been to other counties where they've allowed us to show the actual vote counting going on. Can you tell us who made the decision not to allow the media in to see the vote counting and what the rationale was?
You know, I don't really know who made that decision. I'm sure, I would guess that part of it was our, Board of Elections solicitor, but it was probably a group decision, but I'm not aware of who made that final decision.
And for what reason that decision was made?
I think, I can't give you the specifics around that. I don't know exactly why that decision was made. But we haven't, when we have observers upstairs as well, and we don't allow people to take pictures, we don't allow people to take out their cell phones and be filming. So that's probably the biggest reason, is we allowed media in yesterday. I actually did an interview yesterday, and we let them take a view of everything. But once we get the count going, we typically don't allow media up there to film the process.
Well, you say typically, this is the first time you've done something like this, right?
This is my first time to do it, so maybe that's why I say typically, yeah.
Was there a Board of Elections, would that have come up at a meeting before the Elections Board? Would there have been a vote taken on an action of that nature?
Yeah, I'm guessing that probably happened. I don't know if the Board of Elections voted on it as much as our solicitor weighed in and gave his input.
Who was the solicitor?
Manley Parks.
Can you talk to me about the turnout, we hear a lot of politicians calling it historic, from your point of view, would you consider it that?
Oh, I think you have to consider it historic when you look at, we don't have the absolute numbers yet. We won't until we get all of the votes back in from the precincts tonight. But from what I understand, there were long lines at a lot of the polling places today. Unfortunately, people had to stand in line to vote, but I think that speaks to their passion of wanting to get out and vote. And I think that also speaks to the turnout. A lot of people were really passionate about getting out there and casting their vote today, which is encouraging, I think, to any American.
How many registered voters do you have in Delaware County?
We've got around 425,000 registered voters.
So about a quarter did the mail-in option.
Of about 425,000 registered voters, we sent out just over 155,000 ballots, and we've received back so far about 111,000. And so, we'll be taking mail-in ballots until Friday. That is if they're postmarked today, election day, and then we still have all of the ballot drop boxes that we've got to pick up today as well.
So with that in mind, what's sort of your time frame? What hour do you see tomorrow where you can flip that mountain to dust?
I don't know if I can give you an absolute time on that. I can tell you that we're running 24 hours a day. We're processing about 5,000 applications an hour. We didn't start scanning ballots until about 9:30 this morning because we wanted to build up a supply from the pre-canvass process this morning. So if you figure we entered in around 56,000 ballots this evening at 8 o'clock, you can kind of do the math. My hope is that someday tomorrow we'll be finished, but I can't guarantee that. Just know that we have every intention of going as quickly as we can to get the ballots counted.
Fair to say you got through about a third of them in 12 hours?
No, we actually got through, so we've received about 111,000 back, and we logged in about 56,000 today.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once you receive these votes are starting to come in from the polling places right now.
Mhm.
You have this little device that you put into a machine, and you expect that to take how long when you process all those?
It's quick. It's literally just like a minute per V drive, and then we'll have, you've got over several hundred of those that we've got to log in, and we also have to think that. So our judges of election take all of their material from today. They'll drop it at one of 3 sites around the county, and then those V drives will be couriered back along with police protection here to our headquarters here in Chester.
What was the average wait time to vote across Delaware County? What were you getting in terms of waiting times?
You know what, I can't give you a definite on that. I've heard, anecdotally, that it was around 45 minutes to an hour, but again, that's anecdotal. I know some polling places, people were having to wait in line, I think up to a couple of hours, and then depending upon what time you got there, some people were going through pretty quickly, but I'd guess probably 45 minutes to an hour.
How many, back to the mail-in, how many high-speed efficiency machines is Delaware County using?
Oh my gosh, we have a sorting machine that sorts all of the ballots by precinct. We have high-speed extractors that actually extract the secrecy ballot from the outer ballot, and then the secrecy envelope from the outer envelope, and then we have extractors that take the ballot out of the secrecy envelope, and then we have some high-speed scanners. So, and all this equipment, for the most part, is new for Delaware County.
Are you using the DS?
How many high-speed scanners?
We have 6 high-speed scanners.
Are those the DSA 50s?
No, they're not. I don't believe so.
Are you using the DSA 50s at all?
For the scanners?
To count the actual votes, yes.
You know what? I don't know the exact equipment that we're using for that.
There was a lot of municipalities saying that they had more provisional ballots than they expected. How soon or how quickly was the process of getting those provisional ballots for the municipalities that ran out because they didn't expect so many provisional?
Yeah, we were using couriers, actually sheriffs, to take provisional ballots to polling places today. So we were doing our best to get them to the precincts as quickly as we could. So we were running a list of precincts. As soon as they said that they needed provisional ballots, they were going on the list, and as soon as we could as soon as we could print the provisional ballots, because you have to print them, they're specific to precincts, so it's not like we just have a huge stack that we can dole out. You have to print them specifically, and then we were couriering them out to the precincts. So in some cases, some precincts were having to wait a little bit of time, but we were doing our best to get them out there as quickly as we could.
And based on how many municipalities said that they needed more, how many do you expect to receive tonight?
You know what, I don't know what the total number is. I think it's probably gonna be more than what we had originally anticipated. And it takes us just a little bit longer to work through a provisional ballot because we can't scan something like that. It actually goes through, kind of a different type of review, which takes us a little bit longer. So we'll be working our way through those as quickly as we can too.
Are you also making provisions for those people who got confused, didn't realize that they're supposed to put their ballot in the outside envelope and were just turning them in? And we found, like in Chester County, they were actually calling those voters saying, hey, you need to go to a polling place and actually do it right because this is not allowed. Are you making those kind of provisions here?
Yeah, we did actually, because when we found something like a naked ballot, or when we found something where maybe a voter didn't sign or didn't put their address, that data was actually placed on our website for voters to see.
And you were calling them and letting them know, hey, you got to straighten this out. You should go to a polling place.
No, we weren't actively calling
weren't
them,
calling.
but we were putting the information on the website for people, and we did have a number of people vote provisional ballots.
Do you know if there's a number of how many people's ballots weren't able to be used because they were filled out incompletely?
I don't know what that number is off the top of my head. I don't. We're still working through those numbers, and that's part of the pre-canvass and the canvass process that we're going through right now. So we're still reviewing some ballots to make sure that they've got signatures, addresses, and dates. So I can't tell you what that number is because it's kind of changing as we go through more of the pre-canvass to now canvass process. Any other questions?
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate your time.